Season 5, episode 23. Oh, these episodes roll on. Sorry if you were disappointed not to see a show yesterday. Unfortunately, the show did not appear for the reason that Keir Starmer just kept talking. He kept talking and it ate into the showtime. You can see him there with the giant fish he presented at the Labour Party conference. He didn't, but it would have been better if he did, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be great if he just came on stage and said, look at this giant fish I've got. No policies, but I have this giant fish. Anyway, it's a hard out today because I have to go to London to go to a work thing. Oh, yes, indeed. Leaving my house. I hate it. But I do, so I'm going to be doing that. In the meantime, though, it's a 4-paper show. Going to try and get through 4 papers before 2 o'clock. If I can end it at 5 to 2, that'd be amazing. Let's see. Obviously, content warning for coverage of the Sarah Everard case. Every paper is covering it. We're not going to go into heavy detail on details of the murder. Suffice to say that no papers make the connection between Keir Starmer talking about how wonderful the police are in his speech yesterday and the fact that a serving police officer kidnapped and murdered a woman and managed to achieve that in part by using the tools of the police service to help him do that. If you want to read more about the terrible Keir Starmer speech, do check out today's newsletter, and it'd be really helpful if you could newspaper, sorry, wrong command there, newsletter. It's really helpful if you could share the newsletter today, because I published it later than usual. Anyway, hey SK, glad to see you. How you doing? Thank you for popping in while you're on your break. Right, I'm going to get started with the papers. I'll be doing a speed round on the Telegraph today, so flailing fans, look forward to that. Hello also to Mark Canosis, how are you doing? And also to Salinka Meyer, how's it going, everyone? Thank you for being here. I was annoyed not to do yesterday. Thank you, Jumbled Nisi, for following the channel, and also to Llama of No Drama for following it yesterday, even though we weren't convening here. Hey Neon Lady, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for dropping in. I appreciate it. Right. So, okay, as I say, content warning across this show today for discussions of the Everard case, but I'm not going to go into too much detail. Front page. The Sun, obviously, with the most hysterical and tabloid version of that story. Murder that shocked nation, they say at the top, and Sarah didn't stand a chance. And, of course, they decide to put a still from CCTV footage behind the picture of Sarah Everard. I will say it is better than the Mail that decide to put Sarah Everard's picture across from the picture of the man who killed her. What course are you on, SK? On pages 2 and 3, more coverage of that case. And they go with a quote from her mother. On pages 4 and 5, more coverage, absolutely grotesque and gratuitous use of CCTV footage and pictures of the killer, etc. On pages 6 and 7, bucket heads. Idiots fill up plastic bin, but fuel crisis is easing. So the government tells them. Oh, it's a software testing course. Work wants me to get a certificate, so I'm just sat here digging around. Oh, fair dues. On page 7, police Price in rehab after coke crash. Katie Price has told the court, I took drugs, I should not have been driving, I admit it all. She said that she had got in the car because she was lonely. I think she's suffering a really serious mental health episode, and I actually feel deeply sorry for her. Hey Research Arena, how you doing? On page 8, their coverage of Keir Starmer, they give their headline for this speech, Bored to Keir's, and Trevor Kavanagh says, long bid, it was a long bid to be Blair Mark II, which is accurate. Hey Heathmore 2401, how are you doing? Good to see you. Right, moving on. On page 9, Ronaldo sent his driver to fill up his Bentley. The driver spent 7 hours, 40 minutes there and still wasn't able to fill up. Don't be a herbivore. Veggie recipes kids will actually eat. I think there's lots of veg you can get kids to eat. Research Arena is only here for a small bit, waiting for dorm dudes who can key swap. Okay, that's cool. On page 11, J-Lo keeps us on wedge. Literally just Jennifer Lopez wearing some shoes. Literally that. Works busy for you, Heath Moore. It's always a tricky one for me because I always think it being busy is good because it goes quicker, but then it's tiring. You know, it's just, Research Arena, I don't know why they need me to move to a building 2 minutes over. It's the exact same type of part. That's really annoying. Still, I'm glad you got somewhere. Also on page 11, Gord's girl next victim, curse of Strick Tilly. They're claiming that you know, she might be knocking off her partner. Her dance partner, who has a romantic partner outside of the show. On pages 12 and 13, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge held snakes and spiders. They have the Duchess of Cambridge saying, I think I'll call her Meghan, while holding a spider, and the Duke of Cambridge saying, and this must be Harry. Of course, neither of them said that. It's just pathetic. On page 14, China virus alert. China's dangerous virus labs could lead to another pandemic. Oh, good news. On page 15, Beast Jurassic Larks. Isle of Bite. New dinosaur dig up on White. Hell Heron loved whole spot. And then they've got the dinosaur mocked up having an ice cream, because of course they do. Friday's Fuckface, is there any Strictly series that hasn't resulted in at least one affair? Not that I know of. Not in the rebooted era. It seems to be sort of impossible to avoid. Rod Liddle, who's a piece of shit, and we all know it. Absolute piece of shit, piece of work. One of the worst humans alive. And I say that with no hyperbole. Rod Liddle writes, Labour, a party of two halves, and both of them are wrong. Pretending that he's he's some sort of geezer. On page 19, Carnage in 30 seconds. Towie tornado. Twister flips planes in Essex. A freak tornado swept through an Essex airfield, apparently. Yep, back on China virus, yep. Research Arena, so bitter that I can't access Strictly. If you got a VPN, you probably could. On pages 20 and 21, oh no, 7. Even James Bond's gone all woke. Fuck off, he isn't gone woke. Piss off. Also, whatever. On page 23, danger alert in Dorset, the lion sting. Tiny but deadly fish caught in UK waters for the first time. A deadly fish capable of paralysing and killing humans has been caught off Britain's shores. Arthur Summers, real name, hooked the 6-inch lionfish, which has 13 spines packed with venom, at a tourist hotspot. We are pro the tiger fish here. Here's a funny pics thing. There's a horse laughing. Cream drummer Ginger Baker left £92,000 in his will despite selling more than 35 million records. A, he was the drummer, so he didn't write the songs. B, he had a very, drug and drink filled life. And C, so what? Bet no one is correct. Collecting the killer fish to climate change. No, exactly. Oh God! Warning. They've done one of their sex features again. Forgotten how to kiss. Tips to be a smooch operator. This written by Katie Doherty, and with comment from sexpert Alex Fox. Apparently, don't be tight-lipped. Rob together. Don't be a limp lettuce. I mean, weird. It's weird. Reading a newspaper article is not going to get you to be good at kissing, is it? Possibly there's a YouTube video. I don't know. Research Arena loves poisonous sea creatures. Very on brand. Amazon Wall-E Site's home security robot is Ringer Fortune. Amazon's new security robot, the Astro, looks like Wall-E. Yeah, fuck that. Neon Ladies, Sun is the last place I'd go for kissing advice. Yeah, exactly. TV star on Darling Bud's reboot that's making him too big for his suits. Bradley. This is Bradley Walsh. I was born to be Pop Larkin. Okay, grand. In the TV recommendations, The Repair Shop gets reviewed. And they like it. And then on TV picks, Don't Exclude Me, BBC Two, about children being excluded from school. The Real Manhunt, The Night Stalker, 9pm, no thank you. All Creatures Great and Small, Channel 5, 9pm, again, no thank you. And The World's Most Scenic Railway Journeys, 8pm, Channel 5. In Fab Daily, have you got strawberry legs? It's about various things that you can have wrong with your leg. People think us Love Isle stars are airheads. I'll prove them wrong on Question Time tonight, says Amy Hart, who is appearing on Question Time tonight. She, of course, was on Love Island previously and was an air hostess, an air steward, sorry. Research arena. Deadly fish is not hyperbole. Lionfish are one of the most deadly sea creatures to humans. That's why we're a pro lionfish stream. Take two, £14 each for these ugly trousers. Tory's trying to get people to kiss them again. Yeah, not going to happen, is it? And the £50 letter today comes from John Farrell, who says, once again, Katie Price is in trouble and everyone's rallying around. We've all got our own problems to deal with, but don't go about driving while disqualified from doing so and under the influence of alcohol and drugs. Well, John, I don't think anyone's asking you to sort out Katie Price's problems for her. C122, H122 says, I think most people who are on Question Time at Airheads, it's kind of a requirement for going on, although Niels Abbey did a good job the other week. Today's ugly thing that you can get from the Bradford Exchange, it's Love Lives On, a real rose with 24 karat gold plating. You can get it personalised, and it's basically like, yeah, if someone's carked it, you can get this ugly rose statue thing. Yours for, I shit you not, £99.96. And in the sport, Bosch and Pex, Ron is Fergie time hero. Man United 2, Villarreal 1, and certainly not a terrifying picture of Ronaldo there, a man who has absolutely no allegations against him, and you'd be wrong to ever mention them, seemingly, if you write for The Sun. Give me your scores for The Sun anyway. For me, it's a triple negative nice. -69, -69, -69. Right, gonna do quick roll call, and then it's gonna be the speed round through the Daily Telegraph. I think it's gonna be a pretty terrible speed round, always is with the Telegraph, but let's see how it goes. C122, H122. What do you call someone who hangs around with a band? A drummer, a classic joke. Slinkermeyer, 1, 2, 3, 4. Quadruple negative nice. Mark Kenosis gives it a -69. Lionfish stings. A quintuple negative nice from C122, H122, and -1312 from Coronatherm. Okay, I'm the Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter, @BrokenBottleBoy. In the mod squad, however briefly, it's SK the Crusader. I'm sure he's got good streams coming up soon. In fact, I know he has, because on Friday night, we are doing the alternate history stream, where we talk about Mike Gapes becoming Prime Minister. How would that happen, and what would happen once it happened? In the chat also today, Academy Impossible, Amina Acid, Ashfats McNulty, C122, H122, Dynaterra, E-Blair Fan, Ehud Barak, Faraj's Fuckface, Gledster, Go With Him, Heathmore 2401, Mark Kenosis, Morin Skell, Metaview, Slinkermeyer, the Neon Lady, the Research Arena, the Royal Flush, and Tit Villas. Hello to you all. Thank you very much for being here. All right. Mark Kenosis, please applaud my industrious laziness. I just pinned a pillowcase to the wall behind me so no one on Zoom can tell I'm lying in bed. Excellent. C122, H122 actually wants Mike Gapes to become PM. Thank you, Neon Lady. Yes, a person in the room got me this t-shirt quite a while ago, and I really love it. It says, eat trash. Right. Okay, here we go. Telegraph. I reckon. Let's try and do the Telegraph in a sweet 2 minutes. Right, 2 minutes. And the timer has started. Front page of the Telegraph. Golden Girl Kate has ushered in a new era of glamour. Spoiler, she hasn't. Main story is, of course, about the murder of Sarah Everard and the guilty plea from her murderer. There's Starmer's on the front cover, of course. Fuel diverted from big firms to forecourts is the claim. France threatens Jersey's energy supply and fishing row. I think we're going to end up at war with France over fish in Jersey, which would be, the banter timeline solution. Hips don't lie, but wild pigs might steal your bag, as Shakira finds out. Singers fights off animals foraging for food in Barcelona Park after they attempt robbery. Weirdest story of the day. Rolls-Royce fulfill founder's 120-year-old dream by going electric. They have a full double-page spread of stuff about the Sarah Everard murder. Of course, more salacious stuff with the CCTV screen caps. Warning over COVID powers ignored. Rogue police officer exploited confusion. Of course, now the Telegraph is exploiting that story to make their points about COVID. I am worried about state powers, though, of course. Was it 30 to 40 feral hogs? No, I don't think so, but it should have been. Ignore Labour trans row, Lammy tells the BBC. Pete Price admits drink driving after crash near home in Sussex. Golfer poisons greens after being kicked out of a club. What bit? I mean, golf courses are a waste of space and resources. Navy carrier tests out drone that flies on crest of a wave. They love military porn on this. Oh God, 20 seconds left to do the rest of it. Letters. Colin Coughlin is still a plant. Welcome back to glamour. Women want to be called women. Why is that so hard for men? Says Melanie McDonough. Just some turfism here. Velvet Toxes. Michael Deacon just saying some shit. Reviews of various stuff. Of course, they liked No Time to Die. And that is the Telegraph. There you go. That's Telegraph. I don't know. Minus $1 billion. Like, honestly. C122, H122, Banter Wars, I'm in favour of COD War. SK the Crusader, women do want to be called women and people are refusing to call them that. That's the fucking problem. Yeah, there we go. Newspaper box. Our PM dismissed doctors concerned, saying they can't see the big picture. Yeah, this stuff is just a mess. It's just a mess. Right, we're going to move on to the Times. Fucking Telegraph, man. Right. So, the Times, front page of the Times. No more shy Duchess, more propaganda about Kate Middleton. Duchess of Cambridge. It's in every newspaper. On the right-hand side, the new James Bond. 8 hot revelations. I guarantee you there aren't. The main story, of course, is the pleading guilty of the man who murdered, to be even more accurate, the police officer who murdered Sarah Everard. On the right-hand side, prepare for a Christmas nightmare, shoppers told. So that's good news, isn't it? Mark Kenosis double tabbing with the afternoon concert. Some lovely 20th century violin duos. I think my voice is probably ruining that then. Refusal of fishing permits. Flout Brexit deal, say the French. Row over paying for police to patrol channel migrants. Lenient jail term for killer to be reviewed. It's the prison sentence given to a man who choked his lover to death during sex. It could be extended for being unduly lenient. The Attorney General has referred Sam Pybus's sentence of 4 years and 8 months to the Court of Appeal. 4 years and 8 months. I don't know. I mean, you don't know what I wasn't in the court, so I'm not even going to make a comment on that. Cornwall rages as outsiders cash in. Furious residents demand holiday homeowners repay $100 million of COVID relief funds. Right? Holiday homes people shouldn't be allowed to have second homes. That's my policy. Who is herbicidal maniac poisoning trees to improve £3 million view? Wealthy homeowners on a street of houses worth up to £3 million each are being investigated by police on suspicion of killing 2 large oak trees that block their sea views. Killing an oak tree like that should come with a prison sentence. Except it shouldn't because prison's bad, but there should be proper punishment. They should take a fuck ton of money away from you. Also, the YouTube subtitles just say music. Oh, nice. Minimal flailing, maybe a flail personal best, says Slinkerman. Yeah, possibly. Not a time personal best, though. Of course, they go into excruciating detail about how Sarah Everard was murdered and raped. It's horrendous. They do that over 2 double-page spreads. I really do feel, this morning on the Today programme on BBC Radio 4, they had an actress to read out the entirety of Sarah Everard's mother's victim impact statement. It was gratuitous, and I think the press as ever is not enjoying, but reveling almost in the details. Mark Kenosis, if you kill an oak tree, you should have to eat the whole oak tree. That's the policy. Apple Pay users vulnerable to security hack, apparently. Apple Pay on iPhone set to express travel mode allows people to pay for the tube without authentication. A code is broadcast by public transport readers that wakes up Apple Pay and enables this transaction. By replicating this code, hackers could unlock an iPhone that uses Apple Pay with Visa cards and make unlimited withdrawals. They could, but... C122, H122, I don't want to hear about the last hours of Sarah Everard's life. No, me neither. And not over and over and over again. Broadcasting news reports in salacious detail by Chronothon, the press going into fucking override to distance cousins from the police and sensationalise every aspect of the story. Absolutely. Good afternoon, Get Station. How are you? Thank you for watching on YouTube. I appreciate the comments. And just good to see you here live. Ministers did not listen to our warning, say frustrated retailers. Rob, hire asylum seekers and prisoners to plug worker gap. Oh, good. More prison labour. Fuck you. It's really hard to turn the pages on these papers today. Facebook studied how to win over young children. Well, of course it did. It's in your head. Training the brain helps with pain. No, fuck this. Fuck this. Stories like this are terrible. And I'll tell you for why. Because people with chronic pain, people with chronic conditions, etc. are made to feel shit about themselves. But because stories like this imply that, that you can just... It's mind over matter with pain. Some pain, it's... You know... arthritis pain, the pain like my friend Lucy had, who passed away some years ago, but she had EB. That's constant pain. You can't mind over matter that pain away. And this shit, I hate it. Right, moving on. If only this is from the Times diary today. If only J.S. Bach had spent less time on his cantatas and invented the internet instead, the German would have been much wealthier than Ed Sheeran. This is a slightly desperate claim in a press release from Leipzig Tourist Board, which looked at how often its star composers' work are played on Spotify and extrapolated that if the streaming service had been around in the 18th century, the Cello Suite #1 would have earned him 18.5 million at current rates. That compares with 7.8 million that Ed Sheeran has earned for Shape of You since 2017. That guff aside, it's interesting to note that Bach's entire output would now be worth £220,000 a year in Spotify royalties, ahead of all classical rivals, compared with the $29,000 a year adjusted for inflation he earned at his peak. Proof there is more money in decomposing than composing. Oh, fuck off. And they write about the hell heron. Get Station doctors. Sigma has chronic pain spinning. Thank you for saying that, Mick. I hate it. I hate it. Like, it's very likely that I have some form of arthritis. I need to go and speak to the doctors. I have pain in my feet and legs almost every day now, and I hate this stuff. It's really divisive. It's pernicious. It's disgusting. Mark Kenosis, fuck off Leipzig. Research Arena, if you kill a tree, you should be abducted by a tree. Lincoln and I, there are links between managing chronic pain and mental health, but stories like that just imply if you're suffering, it's your own fault. Oh, yeah, effectively. Get Station, doctors absolutely love telling you shit is in your head, let alone newspapers. They absolutely do. Mark Kenosis, okay, but Bach isn't about money, it's about worshipping and ultimately dethroning God. Starmer hails Blairism in bid to relaunch Labour. It's like, what, the fourth or fifth time he's relaunched his leadership? It's absolute horse shit. Quentin Lex is a piece of shit, can't be bothered with that. They've got a thing of, they've gone back to find a picture of Daniel Craig when he was 16, and honestly, he was an old-looking 16-year-old. He looks the same now. Markinosis, according to the media, everything except Havana syndrome is in your head. Double vaccinate all teenagers to avoid long COVID, say experts. Pyrotechnics in Paris is how they talk about the Paris Fashion Week. Driver on a way to meet a date hit and killed cyclist. A driver was on his way to a date when he knocked down and killed a teenage cyclist. Could face manslaughter charges after a coroner stopped an inquest and referred the case back to the Director of Public Prosecutions. Dylan Crossley, 15, suffered a fatal injury when he was knocked off his bike by a BMW in the village of Whitestake, Lancashire. No, he was not knocked over by the car, he was knocked over by the driver. Another thing I fucking hate in the way these stories are written. The driver, David Harwood, 46, did not slow down and continue on his journey to meet a woman he had met on a dating app. Harwood, an accident damage assessor with 18 years experience, was illicitly charged with causing death by dangerous or careless driving, but his trial collapsed in 2018 and he walked free from court. Doctor's absolutely culpable. Markinosis, why does 16-year-old Daniel Craig look like 40-year-old Marky Smith? Questions, many questions. Chronotherm, Daniel Craig looks like Angela Merkel in that picture. In the comments section, James Kirkup, a man who constantly looks like he's delighted at the smell of his own farts. Tell me I'm not true. That's not true. Look at that. Look at that. A man delighted by the smell of his own farts. Does Craig look good now or bad as a 16-year-old? We'll never know. He's grown into it. He's grown into the cragginess. Incidentally, there will be no show on Monday as I'm taking my mother to see the new Bond film. On page 26, architects are window into our national soul, says James Marriott. Whatever. Janice Turner has written her article again. Ian Martin says, just-in-time politics leaves Britain in peril. It's one of those rare occasions when someone who's awful actually writes a column that's actually pretty correct. In the birthdays today, John Lloyd, TV producer and writer, known for Blackadder, amongst other things, he's 70. Cecilia Ahern, the novelist, is 40. Of course, she is the daughter of a former Irish Taoiseach. Sir Shankar Balasubramanian, the chemist and the Herschel Smith Professor of Medicinal Chemistry at the University of Cambridge, is 55. Sir David Bell, the president of children's charity Coram, is 75. Monica Bellucci, the actress, is 57. Massimo Bottura, the chef patron, regarded as one of the world's leading restaurateurs, is 59. Professor Sir Keith Burnett, a physicist and chairman of Nuffield Foundation, president of UK Science Council till 2021, is 68. Marion Cotillard is 46. Lord Peter Cruddas, the founder and chief executive of online trading company CMC Market, 68. Kieran Culkin, 39. Angie Dickinson, 90. Omid Jalili at 56. Stephen Grabener, the director of Times Newspapers Holdings and chairman of the Jewish Chronicle until 2019, is 63. Jewish Chronicle regularly found to have breached IPSO guidelines and lost several libel cases in the past few years. Martin Green, Chief Creative Officer of the Commonwealth Games, Birmingham 2022 and Festival 2022, is 50. Martin Guptill, the cricketer for New Zealand, 35. Martina Hingis, the tennis player, 41. Jochen Mass, the racing driver and balloonist, 75. Ehud Olmert, politician and Prime Minister of Israel until 2009, 76. Professor Peter Parker, not that one, Principal Scientist, London Research Institute of Cancer Research UK, is 67. Robert Gascoigne Cecil, the Marquess of Salisbury and Lord Privy Seal, Leader of the House of Lords until 1997, 75. Kamala Sharma, the Commonwealth Secretary General until 2016, is 80. Andrew Shaw, the operatic baritone, is nice, 69. Victoria Tennant, the actress, Winds of War 1983, is 71. Max Verstappen, the racing driver, is 24. Professor Simon White, the astrophysicist, is 70. John Wilkes, the UK ambassador to Qatar, is 54. Sarah Wooten, Chief Executive Dignity and Dying, is 55. Martine Wright, Paralympic athlete, sitting volleyball player who lost both legs in the 7/7 London bombings, is 49. On this day in 1791, Mozart's Die Zauberflöte, the Magic Flute, was given its premiere at the Theatre Auf die Wieden near Vienna. The last word. I wish that every human life might be pure, transparent freedom. That's Simone de Beauvoir, French feminist philosopher, in The Blood of Others. Thank you for redeeming Hydrate, Heathmore. Get Station says, absolutely fuck the JC. Agreed. Mark Kenosis loves that JC is now run by a shady cabal of rich Gentiles. Yeah. Glester had a crush on Hingis when he was a teen. Being ambassador to Qatar must be easy. Just put on a blindfold every day and say everyone's free and happy. Seems like it, yeah. Putin declares media war after German block on fake news. Macron debunks conspiracy theories. Really, does he? You can sue your way to the moon, Musk goads. You can't sue your way to the moon, Musk goads Bezos. I require them to have a YouTube boxing match. Forget bears, beware the angry otters. We are a pro-angry otter stream. Officials in Alaska are appealing for information about a rogue pack of otters. Hunt them down. That has been blamed for a series of attacks on people and their pet. This is the start of the otter uprising. Merkel accused of hollowing out party after election disaster, page 33. On the front page of the Times too, no more shy Duchess, how Kate stepped into the limelight and hogged it. Who cares? Activists sorry for making top judges, quotes, gender neutral. That's ACLU quoting Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Rogue pack of otters. In a way, I like to think of all of us as very much spiritually a rogue pack of otters. China runs out of steam as shortages of coal bite is the claim. Simon Nixon, a new world where globalization has been replaced by self-sufficiency, has it now. It's time for Facebook to come clean on the effects of Instagram, writes Simon Duke. Yeah, that's never going to happen. In the obituaries, John Clooney's Ross, former ruler of the Cocos Islands, as well as the sole employer, landlord and magistrate who once hosted a visit from the Queen. Islanders were taught little of the world, and if they left, they could not return. This guy sounds like an absolute piece of shit. Ruler of the Cocos Islands, he died aged 92. Oh, God. Yeah, this is grim. This is proper grim. Oh, God. It's horrible. Yeah. He planted hundreds of coconut plants, imported Indonesian workers, and began trading with Britain and the East Indies. That's his great-grandfather who did that. This guy, the ancestor of the original guy, a swarthy man of median height, lived in Oceana House on Home Island, striding around his tiny coral kingdom barefoot with a ceremonial dagger tucked in his belt. One of the first acts was to end the practice of adolescent girls being kept in a tower to await their master's pleasure. Another was to stop presenting house guests with a young maiden as part of royal hospitality. Nevertheless, some controlling practices continued. The key to the whole bloody business is free or cheap labour, explained one of the family to reporters in 1978. The Malay workers were paid in Cocos rupees, currency minted by Clooney Ross that could only be spent at the company store. Right, this guy is just... This is horrendous. Oh, God. The family's rule was variously described as paternalistic, benevolent, despotism, and enlightened colonialism. There is no such thing as enlightened colonialism. Fuck me. Honestly, we could spend the rest of the stream on the horrors of that obituary. Theodora Di Marco has died. She was a Carmelite nun with a rebellious streak who developed a penchant for Negronis and had a 60-a-day cigarette habit. She's died aged 95. Michael Nader, the actor and television heartthrob known for playing the suave Dexter opposite Joan Collins in Dynasty. The sheer power of the 80s energy coming off that. Yeah, yes, think about it. It wasn't a company town. It was a whole company country. Yep, sounds like he lived 92 years too long, says Renoir. Agreed. And in the sport, that's what they signed him to do. Ronaldo scores 95th minute, United winner. There you go. Give me your scores for the Times. There was some animal stuff in there. Yeah, animal stuff in there. Rogue otters. We're pro-rogue otters. Absolutely agree with you, Slenkermeyer. Musk versus Bezos versus the otters. All the smart money is on the otters to win that. And I've now decided that, like, the collective name for the members of this stream is the Rogue Otters. Scores here. Slinkermeyer in for a quadruple negative nice. Rogue Otters. C1 22, H1 22. Double negative nice, -1. So I guess that's a 1 point added on for... +1, a point added on for the Otters. Titvillius, obituary wrecks the rest, so minus... $1 million. Get Station, one Ronaldo way trip to the US out of 10. Minus one Ronaldo one-way trip to the US out of 10. Yes, says Get Station. Heathmore, double negative nice for company towns. C122, H122, rough otters. Different thing. Gethin, Wyn Jones, Keir will hunt down the otters. I want the Rogue Otters to take Keir Starmer down. Right, and finally we come to the Daily Mail, which we're gonna glide through fairly fast because, unfortunately, I actually have to leave my house, and not just leave my house, but leave Norwich today to go to a work thing. Imagine that. Yeah, that is an accidental tongue twister. One Ronaldo, one-way trip to the US. One Ronaldo, one-way trip to the US. There we go. Right, here we go, Daily Mail. Of course, horrendous. front page. The Sun and the Daily Mail fighting it out for the most grim front page on the Sarah Everard case. Sarah Everard murder, the chilling truth, they say. And of course, they have to put a picture of the killer on the front page. I mean, come on. Work schmirk, says Renoir. Yeah, I know. But, you know. Leaving Norwich, am I crazy? I know, Pops, but I will be back. I will be back. I'm literally going and coming back this evening. On page, it's like the Ravens leaving the tower when I leave Norwich. Chronotherm, I welcome the killing of otters, but I want the government to go further and also kill badgers and momentum activists. Chronotherm revealing themselves to be Keir Starmer. Do they not grasp the irony of them using that headline? They do not. They do not. The Daily Mail does not, cannot and will not understand irony. On page 3, Star takes his daughter partying after premiere. 007 Daniel and his real Bond girl. Well, that's cool. Isn't that nice? I mean, if your dad was Bond, wouldn't you expect him to take you out? On pages 4 and 5, you know, their coverage of the events at the Old Bailey. On 6 and 7, gratuitous use of the CCTV footage to talk about the final hours of Sarah Everard's life. Disgusting. On pages 8 and 9, more of that and pictures of the killer. Grim. More on Darling Buds of May on page 11. BBC lags behind rivals on equality for women is the claim. Pages 12 and 13, stuff on Keir Starmer. Hard left Labour laid to rest. Is that right? Stephen Glover, the most zombie-looking motherfucker in British media, says, at last, a Labour leader the Tories must take seriously. Now, this is a reason. This is a reason that I think you should read today's newsletter, which is about the media coverage of Starmer's speech. One of the things that's really getting me with Starmer supporters is they're like, even the Daily Mail thought it was a good speech. No, the Daily Mail is pleased that Starmer is ineffective, but they wish him to stay in place as long as possible. So they'll say nice things about him, but hey, person in the room is back. They'll say nice things about him up until it comes to an election when they will rat fuck him into a million pieces. Slingerman says Daily Mail wouldn't pass the Voight Camp test. It would not. Keir will never win, so I don't take him seriously. No, why should you? On page 17, as ministers rubber stamp plans to change DNA in our crops and animals, a leading expert asks, can altering the genes in our food really be safe? Who is this leading expert? His name is Geoffrey Lean. What are his... They don't say anything about his credentials. And Dominic Sambrook, the ever appalling Dominic Sambrook, says, Tony Blair helped millions get useless degrees. What rich irony that his son has made a fortune, proving his folly. No, again, it's not irony, is it? It's nepotism, cronyism, a broken system. Chronotherm, love to peer into the parallel universe where a Labour leader goes full fast just to see what the Tory press says. Heathmore 2401, some people just deliberately naive. Renoir, it's not a good thing. If the DM rate the leader of the opposition isn't the opposition. Bingo. Right, how gambling epidemic costs our economy $1.2 billion a year, which is his continuing campaign that the Daily Mail has, while also pushing horse racing. Just be suspicious of their campaigns. Army deployed within days is the claim. Definitely a good functioning state where we have to keep deploying the army and acting as if we have any kind of size of army that's capable of doing all the things that the Tories just go, don't worry, we'll just get the army to do it. The army will fix it. We'll get the army. We've got the army in. Who's baking the bread? Oh, the army. Page 23. Next stop, I'm a celeb. Kate cradles a creepy crawly called Charlotte. God, give a fuck. On pages 24 and 25, goodbye to the Bond who saved 007 as our film critic revels in the aftershock of the most exploding ending of all, a fond appreciation of the star who rescued a dinosaur from extinction. iPhone flawless hackers use bank card. Again, it's really complicated. It's not actually that easy to do. On pages 28 and 29, the ultimate price of fame as she checks into rehab for the third time in 3 years after crashing her car in a drink and drug-fueled binge, how fallen reality TV star Katie Price is paying. They will not be happy until this woman is dead. C122, H122. Just wait 10 weeks. Keir will be shagging a Union flag on GB News. Right, on this date, September 30th, 2021, from the Daily Mail archive. In 1980, A car crash convinced Ringo Starr he should marry actress Barbara Bach, says the former Beatles drummer. Ms. Bach was a passenger in his Mercedes when it skidded out of control, rammed 2 lampposts, and somersaulted 50 yards. They've subsequently been married 40 years. Happy birthday to Omid Jalili. September 30th, 1997, the Daily Mail wrote, Tony Blair will launch a crusade to put the family at the heart of government's work. The Prime Minister will insist every policy his ministers produce is assessed for its impact on the family. And yesterday, Keir Starmer was doing that shit again. Happy birthday to Omid Jalili, who's 56, and to Marion Cotillard, who's 46. Born on this day in 1921, Deborah Kerr. She died in 2007. She was a Scottish actress who starred in more than 50 films, including From Here to Eternity and Black Narcissus. Kerr was nominated for 6 Oscars, but won none, before being given an honorary Academy Award in 1994. Her singing voice in The King and I was partly her own and partly dubbed by Marnie Nixon. Elie Wiesel died 2016, born 1928. The Romanian-born survivor of Auschwitz and writer of plays, short stories and books, including Night, Dawn and the Gates of the Forest, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1986, but he said his story was initially met with indifference. The Holocaust was not something people wanted to know about in those days. The Diary of Anne Frank was as far as anyone wanted to venture. On September 30th, in 1399, Henry IV was proclaimed King of England. On this day in 1965, the animated TV series The Thunderbirds was broadcast for the first time. Quote of the day, happiness is having a large, loving, caring, close-knit family in another city. That's George Burns, the American comedian. 1896 to 1996. Joke of the day. How did the magician cut the ocean in half? With a seesaw. Renoir said the conference was horrible. Proper cliquey little circus, back patterns and butt slappers. Looked just like Tory conference. Dan Jones 3142. Good to see the media have learned lessons from the death of Caroline Flack and before that the death of Princess Diana. Incredible, isn't it? The family is what Blair called his favourite business people. Yeah. Chronothan, imagine this scene from The Green Knight, but it's Keir Hardy. It's Keith Starmer and Isabel Oakeshott. Not a funny joke. It was a bad joke, wasn't it? On her PM Secret Service, Carrie sneaks into the 007 launch, says Richard Eden in the gossip column. Who cares? In Female, the new dating rules, feminism forgot. What are they? Who cares? Put on jewelry when you get home from work. Let him decide on dinner and listen, don't talk. No, it's not the 1950s. They're the diktats of today's femininity coaches. Oh, it's tradwifing sneaking its way back into the papers, isn't it? Tradwife shit that the Sun has written about 6 times in the past 3 months. In the question thing, is it ever okay to put loved ones in a novel? Yes, says Fiona Walker. No, says Amanda Craig. I say, I don't know, depends, doesn't it? Mark Canosis, I misheard that as feminism for goths. Feminism for goths will be good. Lineker, why I'm proud to support this haven of hope. He's talking about cancer charity. Why we must ban the toxic phrase mum guilt. Is that a phrase? It's a thing, yeah. Lorraine Candy says she's raised 4 children during her career as a top magazine editor. Now she rails against the prejudice women face. And of course, there's a picture of her teenage daughters looking massively pissed off to once again be dragged into the paper. Jenny Murray says, now I'm relieved I failed the fitness test for Strictly. Whatever. The pile of unworn dresses that buried my anguish. She spent £400 a month and once bought 5 ball gowns. Now, in a brutally honest testimony, this author describes the shopping addiction that masked a profound sadness. And did it in the Daily Mail. Girl with the golden gown or Dr. Oh No, they're rating Kate, Duchess of Cambridge's dress. Old school glamour with echoes of Diana, says Karen Kay. A Christmas tree with aging sequins, says Liz Jones. Of course she does. They interview Kirsty and Phil from location. Kirsty says, Phil couldn't live with me in a million years. Yeah, million years. And Phil says, no comment. Mark Canosis says, invest in mum guilts. Yeah, always on the rise, the mum guilts. Donnez-moi un kiss. It's a new dating show with a twist. None of the couples speak the same language. Here, authors recall their youthful attempts to parlay the lingo of love. Simon Mills says dressing like Duran Duran was not le bon. Emily Hill says I was too mute to be his Russian doll. Eleanor Mills said his Bob Marley cover left me wailing. Clover Stroud, real name, says it was lust at first sight at the circus. Presumably that was a human. And Kate Spicer says, I became pen pals with his sister. Finally, Kate Mulvey says, my summer romance sparked an enduring love of Italy. And of course, the guy was called Claudio. Here's Johnny992 in with the first chat. Thank you for that. It would be hard to live with anyone who has a million ears. It would. They never get peace, would they? I'm in the blind date today. I was surprised when he asked to see me again at the end of the date, says Vlada32. And Aussie35 says, she likes going out and socialising while I prefer a good book. Oh, yes, well, I'm... What's that thing that wankers say they are? You know, when they like, oh... No, the thing, you know, on dating sites where they're like, oh, I'm a... Sapiosexual, yeah, fucking tossers. Right, anyway, Vlada gives it 7 out of 10. He had great manners. Ozzy says she was attractive. He had no regrets, but he wished the date had gone better. And she said, none, life is for living. Would she see him again? No. Would he see her again? No. Sapiosexual, thank you, Mark Crisis. Cashmere jumpers for sale here, £49 each. Available in brown sugar, cream, powder blue, marble, ice blue Mari, pink flambe, lavandula, navy and black. There you go. If you want to get ripped off for a cashmere jumper, there you go. Mark Kenosis prefers sapiosexual's antonym, morosexual. Today's pick of the day is The Real Manhunt, The Night Stalker. No, thank you. Christopher Stevens' last night's TV reviews, Hollington Drive, 5 stars, and 28 Up, Millennium Generation, 3 stars. In the cartoons today, Garfield and John are drinking coffee. In Chloe & Co., Chloe and her friend are drinking and talking about men. And in Fred Bassett, Yorkie jumps up some steps. And Jock and Fred Bassett are pleased for him. Because they're nice boys, aren't they? In the straight-to-the-point letters today. Oh, no, hang on. First, the poem. You thought I'd forgotten the poem. Oh, no. Since Person in the Room got us reading the poems, I'm going to read them every single time. Right, the card. Today's poem is the card. I have a special birthday card I've kept for many a year, given to me by the one I loved whose memory I hold dear. She tried to write a poem, her first attempt, you see. I will not share her words with you, she wrote them just for me. Those words are fading now, of course, but they always make me smile. So every year come this date, I think back for a while of how she tried so very hard to tell me how she felt by writing words straight from her heart. Those feelings make me melt. You sound like a melt. I picture her with pen in hand, a frown upon her face. She wouldn't know I kept that card in heart. It has its place. Today I know I'll miss her more. I'll miss my birthday kiss, her smile that said I love you, but I can tell you this. No matter how apart we are, my feelings will not falter. I'll always love the girl I lost, and that will never alter. And that is Charlie Horner from Bognor Regis, trying to do therapy by sending a poem to the Daily Mail. In the straight-to-the-point letters today, Mrs. M.G. Toghill, real name, says... Are COVID precautions sometimes taken too far? Seen in local M&S store in the shoe department recently. Please sanitise your hands before trying on shoes. Well, you got to pick up the shoes, haven't you? Oh. Sarah Morrison says... With the ongoing fuel crisis, teaching unions have called for homeschooling once again, demonstrating that it's all about the teachers and not about children's education. Fuck off. M.R. Gribble, real name, says... Can somebody please tell me which commodity's going to be the next to be in short supply so I can panic by now? Ian Harrington says, the government says that the army has been put on standby. A bit worrying as I thought the army was always on standby. James Waller of Hornchurch says, queuing at garages, a vision of the future perhaps, when we all go electric. Paul Graham, not that one, writes, filling stations have a cut-off device to prevent misuse at the pump. So why aren't they used to prevent greedy idiots filling cans? Michael Albin says, how much CO2 is released into the atmosphere by a rocket to launch a satellite into orbit to monitor the damage done to the planet by the increase in CO2 and other greenhouse gases? Oh, fuck off. And finally... Michael Lynchahorn says, if you earn less than £27,000 after 3 years at university, you shouldn't have gone. Yeah, because that's how the economy works. Go fuck yourself. Right, today's recipe is pesto chicken salad. I mean, it looks fine. It looks fine. A lot of these letters are just stuff you could Google. Yeah. There's a cruise adverts. They've got a big thing about defence, the defence industry in the business section. And on the back page, Reds relief. Last gasp, Ronaldo saves sloppy United. And GB Olympic star, I was drugged and raped. Robert Pesto chicken salad, no thank you. That is a Daily Mail. For me, that is a quintuple negative nice. Minus 69, minus 69, minus 69, minus 69, minus 69. And easily the worst front page of the day. Most grotesque. Thank you for joining me here today on the show. It has been episode 23 of season 5 of The Paper Thing. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. In the meantime, if you can share the newsletter, do. And if you can sign up to it, even sign up and for free. And if you like it, upgrade to a paid version, that'd be amazing. And also, if you like this stream but you don't want to subscribe, do consider just doing a one-off throwing of some coins into the paper fund. Really helps. Ged Station rates the Daily Mail minus shit trauma poem out of 10. Slinkermeyer gives it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Set tuple negative nice. Mark Kenosis says, I mean, that front page headline would be good if it was directed at readership every day. Yes, it would be. In a way, let's think of it like that. That's just a subliminal message to everyone who's unironically bought the Daily Mail. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm off to that London for work purposes, and I will be. Yeah, that's what I do. I just try and type. I just pass typos all the time, often my own. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for being here for the live show, Ged Station. Much appreciated, and thank you to everyone else as well. Particularly Mark running this in parallel to a much more enjoyable concert. Back at 1 p.m. tomorrow. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. Follow the great example Ged's has set by commenting on the videos. See you all tomorrow, I hope. For the Friday show, which will be a magazine special. What will the magazine be? Who knows? Gotta buy it tomorrow. Bye-bye.